In 1994, Stargate appeared on the big screen as a strange phenomenon, combining bold science fiction with the mysteries of ancient mythology. The film not only opened a gateway to distant worlds, but also sparked numerous questions among the audience about the origins of humanity and the possible existence of alien civilizations. Behind the grand visuals, impressive effects, and captivating storyline, however, lies a series of bizarre behind-the-scenes stories, bold decisions, and even heated controversies. From James Spader dismissing the script as a disaster to Jaye Davidson and his legendary nipple ring, there are hidden truths and little-known details that helped shape a work that captured worldwide attention. Now let's lift the curtain on the secrets of Stargate, a film that was not just a cinematic masterpiece, but also the beginning of an empire lasting 27 years. 1. James Spader once called the script a disaster. James Spader, who played Dr. Daniel Jackson, almost didn't join Stargate. The reason? He hated the script. When he first read the draft, Spader didn't hesitate to call it a stupid mess. Nothing in the story, from the dialogue to the plot, convinced him. However, the filmmakers didn't give up. They rewrote the script, weaving together an engaging blend of ancient mythology, science fiction, and human emotion. Spader was eventually won over. Even after accepting the role, his perfectionism continued to cause challenges on set. On one occasion, he refused to leave his trailer, insisting he couldn't perform with the poor dialogue he'd been given. It was Kurt Russell who pulled him out of his negativity with a sharply sarcastic remark, "Of course the dialogue is bad. That's why you're getting paid $1 million." Looking back, Spader's skepticism actually brought Dr. Daniel Jackson to life. He became the embodiment of an audience member, questioning the strange and mysterious world of Stargate. 2. The opening scene was hidden in the theatrical release. When Stargate hit theaters, audiences had no idea they were missing an eerie opening scene. In the director's cut, the film reveals Ra's origin through a striking sequence. In an ancient village, a boy is abducted by an alien spacecraft. No dialogue, no explanations. Just the cold light of the ship, its roaring engines, and the image of the boy being transformed into Ra's host. This scene not only highlighted Ra's cruelty, but also added a layer of tragedy. He wasn't just a villain, but a symbol of control and inevitable destruction. However, this scene was entirely cut from the theatrical release. Ra became a shallow antagonist, a character reduced to a flashy surface. Removing this detail stripped Stargate of a significant part of its story, turning it into a more straightforward but less nuanced film. 3. Jaye Davidson and the legendary nipple ring. Jaye Davidson was cast as Ra because of his androgynous appearance and piercing gaze, perfect for an ancient alien being. But off-camera, Davidson was a nightmare for the production team. He struggled with substance issues, often forgot his lines, and required cue cards on set. However, the most memorable incident involved his nipple ring. When asked to remove it to match the costume, Davidson adamantly refused. This forced the costume design team to redesign Ra's entire outfit to accommodate the ring. Surprisingly, instead of being a problem, the ring added to Ra's surreal appearance, making him even more bizarre and haunting. Despite the trouble, Davidson contributed to creating a one-of-a-kind antagonist, both menacing and sharp, holding the audience's attention every second he appeared. 4. Excavating the pyramid in 3 days. The excavation scene of the Stargate in 1928 looks grand, but in reality, the crew only took 3 days to shoot it. Not in Giza, but in Arizona, where the harsh temperatures and natural light were used to create a mystical atmosphere. Instead of hiring hundreds of extras as excavation workers, the crew used mannequins dressed in robes to create depth. The pyramid models weren't massive structures either. They were only small sections built for close-up shots. Everything, from lighting to composition, was minimized, yet the result left audiences in awe. This demonstrates the production team's creativity. turning a low-cost scene into an iconic sequence that set the stage for Stargate's mysterious allure. 5. Kurt Russell abandoned his mullet to become Colonel O'Neill. Kurt Russell almost didn't take the role of Colonel Jack O'Neill. When he first read the script, he thought it was just a cheap B-grade sci-fi film, unworthy of his participation. But the revised version changed his mind. To fully transform into the character, Russell did something he never imagined. He abandoned his iconic mullet, a symbol of his action hero roles. Instead, he adopted a strict, clean-cut military hairstyle. This change wasn't just about appearance. It helped Russell embody a deeply complex Colonel O'Neill, a soldier haunted by loss who found redemption through his journey with the Stargate. This wasn't merely a sacrifice in appearance, but a turning point in Russell's career, moving beyond his previous typecast roles and becoming a symbol of Stargate. 6. The desert was scorching. The alien planet scenes in Stargate were shot in Arizona's desert, where summer temperatures reached 120 degrees, about 50 degrees. In such harsh conditions, the crew faced numerous challenges: blistering heat, sandstorms damaging equipment, and footprints constantly appearing on the sand. To fix this, they used jet engines to erase footprints and special cooling systems for the cameras. The actors, wearing heavy costumes and elaborate makeup, had to rest frequently to avoid heat stroke. Yet this harsh environment brought authenticity to the alien world setting. The desert wasn't just a challenge, but a key element that made Stargate visually stunning. 7. MGM and the action-focused coup. Initially, Stargate was written by Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin with a focus on mythology and character development. However, MGM, the studio controlling the project, was not satisfied. They demanded the film to be more explosive, meaning more spectacular action sequences and fewer philosophical and character-building elements. This led to the addition of scenes like the village battle, the attack on Ra's ship, and particularly transforming Ra from a powerful human into an alien being with an electronic voice and supernatural abilities. The production team wasn't happy about these demands, but they had to compromise. The final result was a film that was just explosive enough to satisfy viewers while retaining enough depth to avoid being a hollow sci-fi piece. This balance is one of the reasons why Stargate succeeded, combining intellect with spectacle. 8. MGM seized Stargate from its creators. Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, the creators of Stargate, originally planned the film as the first installment of an epic trilogy. They had detailed storylines about humanity's uprising against the Goa'uld, an ancient alien species. However, MGM had different ambitions. The studio took control of the franchise from them and decided to turn Stargate into a television series. This decision enraged both Emmerich and Devlin, who refused to collaborate with MGM on future projects. Instead, they shifted their focus to Independence Day. Nonetheless, MGM's decision opened a new chapter for Stargate. The television series Stargate SG-1 debuted in 1997 and lasted over a decade, spawning sequels like Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe. Despite being taken over, the legacy of Stargate was inherited and expanded into a lasting sci-fi phenomenon. 9. The controversial copyright lawsuit. Shortly after Stargate premiered, it became embroiled in a copyright lawsuit. Omar Zudi, a high school teacher, claimed that the film had copied a script he wrote in 1984 titled Egyptscape. Zudi's script also centered around ancient aliens and their influence on Egyptian civilization. He alleged that his idea had been stolen and sued Roland Emmerich, Dean Devlin, and MGM. The filmmakers denied all accusations, asserting that their concept was inspired by the German documentary Chariots of the Gods. The lawsuit was not publicly tried and was instead settled out of court. The settlement amount was undisclosed, but the case cast doubt on Stargate's creative process. this remains one of the most controversial behind-the-scenes stories, leaving people to wonder whether there was idea borrowing in the film industry. 10. A success beyond expectations and the start of an empire. When Stargate hit theaters in 1994, no one expected it to make history. With a budget of $55 million, the film grossed $196 million worldwide, breaking October box office records and becoming a commercial phenomenon. However, Stargate's real success wasn't just in the numbers. The film laid the foundation for a 27-year sci-fi universe, including hit TV series like Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe, as well as novels, comics, and video games. Stargate wasn't just a movie, it became a cultural legacy. Combining mythology and science fiction in a unique way, it captured the imagination of millions. From a simple idea sparked during a traffic jam in Los Angeles, Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin created a legend. And despite the controversies, edits, and takeovers, Stargate endures as a symbol of creativity and boundless exploration. 11. The pyramid interior was physically built, not CGI. One of Stargate's most striking elements was the massive pyramid interior scenes. Interestingly, these weren't created using CGI, as one might assume. The production team built full-scale sets, from hieroglyph-covered walls to functional mechanical doors. The dimensions were designed based on real-life Egyptian architecture to achieve a realistic, awe-inspiring effect. Every wall was decorated with hieroglyphs and patterns meticulously researched for accuracy. Moreover, the lighting in these scenes was carefully crafted to evoke a mysterious atmosphere that felt both ancient and futuristic. These enormous sets weren't just for aesthetics, they allowed actors to interact directly with their surroundings, creating a natural sense of immersion that CGI at the time couldn't replicate. The vast spaces, detailed designs, and lighting effects made viewers feel as though they'd truly stepped into a world where alien technology and mythology intertwined. 12. The gate's water effect was created with a water tank and air cannon. The iconic effect of the Stargate activating, with its glowing, swirling water, remains one of the film's most memorable images. Surprisingly, this wasn't made using CGI as modern films might do. Instead, the production team used a large water tank and a special compressed air cannon. When the air cannon blasted into the water, it created ripples and whirlpools. This effect was filmed in slow motion, then enhanced with lighting and digital touch-ups to create the shimmering, liquid-like surface of the Stargate. Early tests didn't go smoothly. Overly strong air pressure caused water to splash everywhere, soaking the set. After several adjustments, the team finally perfected the effect. Because it was based on real physical phenomena, the Stargate's activation effect still feels authentic and natural, standing apart from the often overly polished look of CGI effects. 13. The idea for Stargate came from a German documentary in 1970. Roland Emmerich's inspiration for Stargate came from a German documentary called Chariots of the Gods, 1970. The film explored the theory that aliens had interfered with the development of ancient civilizations on Earth. While attending film school in Munich, Emmerich became fascinated by this idea and decided to turn it into a science fiction story. The concept quickly evolved when Emmerich and Dean Devlin chose to focus on Egyptian mythology, a civilization already shrouded in mystery. They combined the idea of ancient aliens with futuristic technology, creating a narrative that bridged mythology and science fiction. Typically, such ideas remained confined to books or documentaries, but Emmerich brought them to the big screen, transforming them into a captivating story. Stargate was not just a sci-fi film, but a journey into profound questions about humanity's origins. 14. Roland Emmerich entered Hollywood through Universal Soldier. Before making Stargate, Roland Emmerich wasn't a household name in Hollywood. He began his career with sci-fi films in Germany. But everything changed when he was invited to direct Universal Soldier 1992, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. The film, considered a copycat of Terminator 2, became a commercial success, catapulting Emmerich and Dean Devlin into Hollywood's spotlight. Thanks to Universal Soldier, Emmerich gained the resources and trust needed to make Stargate. The film not only served as a stepping stone, but also defined Emmerich's signature style: grand-scale stories, impressive visual effects, and a blend of action with sci-fi elements. This success paved the way for other blockbusters like Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow. 15. Daniel Jackson's lecture was originally much longer. In the original script, Daniel Jackson's lecture about pyramids and aliens was far longer than what appeared in the final cut. It delved deeply into his theories, archaeological research, and linguistic analysis, explaining in detail why he believed the pyramids were not built by humans. However, MGM felt these sections were too lengthy and might bore the audience. As a result, most of the lecture was cut, leaving only the essential points. This decision made the film more concise and streamlined, but it also reduced Jackson's character depth. In the full version, viewers could better understand the contrast between Jackson, a ridiculed scholar, and the monumental secrets he was about to uncover. Even with the shortened version, the lecture remains one of the most memorable scenes, introducing the bold concept of alien intervention in human history. 16. The number of symbols on the Stargate changed between the film and the series. If you've observed closely, in the original film, the Stargate's circular ring has 39 symbols, but in the television series, this number was reduced to 38, with an additional point of origin symbol. This change wasn't random, but was part of a reconfiguration to better serve the storytelling needs of the series. In the film, each symbol represented a constellation, used to determine spatial coordinates in the universe. However, to expand the narrative for Stargate SG-1, the producers redesigned the system, adding a point of origin symbol for each Stargate. This adjustment not only made the Stargate's functionality easier to understand, but also allowed for nearly infinite possibilities when creating new planets and independent storylines. Though subtle, this change played a significant role in building the Stargate universe, enabling the franchise to flourish for over 2 decades. 17. Box office success far exceeded expectations. When Stargate was released in October 1994, few believed that a sci-fi film blending mythology could break box office records. With a budget of $55 million, the film grossed $196 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing October release at the time. Interestingly, even MGM initially didn't have faith in the film's potential. They saw it as an experimental project with uncertain appeal. However, the combination of a mysterious storyline, stunning visual effects, and captivating action sequences turned the film into a phenomenon. Despite criticism for its simplistic plot and reliance on effects, Stargate won over audiences with its audacity and entertainment value. The film's success not only solidified Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin's positions in Hollywood, but also paved the way for one of the longest-running sci-fi franchises in history. 18. The Stargate was originally painted black. The shimmering, metallic Stargate seen in the film wasn't part of its original design. Initially, the gate was painted black. However, when placed under studio lights, it looked like nothing more than a massive car tyre. It lacked the ancient, mysterious, and powerful aura the team wanted. Realising the issue, the production team made a crucial decision: to repaint the entire Stargate in silver. This change not only transformed its appearance, but also enhanced the way it reflected light, creating a glowing, otherworldly effect in the scenes. When illuminated by sunlight, torches, or artificial light, the Stargate seemed to radiate energy from the cosmos itself. This small but impactful alteration turned the Stargate into a visually unforgettable icon. 19. Military consultation from Special Forces experts. One of the reasons Stargate resonated with audiences was its realistic portrayal of military operations. This wasn't an accident. It was thanks to the guidance of real-life Special Forces consultants. The production team hired military experts to train the cast on tactics, weapon handling, and movement during combat scenarios. Every detail, from how the actors held their rifles to how they communicated as a team, was carefully designed to reflect the professionalism of real soldiers. The consultants even requested changes to certain scenes to maintain authenticity. As a result, the military sequences in Stargate not only impressed casual viewers, but also earned praise from those with real combat experience. This attention to detail helped the film avoid the exaggerated or unrealistic portrayals often seen in sci-fi movies. 20. Stargate launched a 27-year-long franchise. More than just a film, Stargate became the foundation for one of the longest-running sci-fi franchises in history. After the success of the movie, MGM expanded the Stargate universe with the television series Stargate SG-1, 1997 to 2007, followed by Stargate Atlantis, 2004 to 2009, and Stargate Universe, 2009 to 2011. Additionally, the franchise inspired numerous novels, comics, and video games. What made Stargate so enduring was its unique blend of ancient mythology and science fiction, creating a rich universe with endless stories to explore. From a simple idea born during a traffic jam in Los Angeles, Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin created a legend. And even after nearly 3 decades, Stargate remains a powerful cultural touchstone, inspiring millions of fans worldwide. Thank you for following along. If you love mysterious stories and the Stargate universe, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to uncover even more fascinating secrets. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on Stargate. What do you like most about it? See you in the next video.